Hey guys, welcome to the Tower of Babble podcast. This is episode 11. For the new listeners, I'm Julian. I'm joined by my co-host Daniel.
Hey.
We're talking about genre news, games, movies, television, comics, and we'll try to go through the news. There's a whole bunch of it, and I wasn't expecting there to be this much this week, so there's a whole bunch. We'll go try to get through it pretty quick. We like to keep it around like an hour-ish, an hour and a half, like tops. Which we stopped doing the two and a half hour podcasts because it was impossible to edit. So I'm not gonna say it. Why don't you start it this time?
Sorry, what?
I'm not gonna say the thing that I always say. I'm not gonna do it.
You want to jump right into it?
No.
Okay, we're gonna dive right into it.
That's not any better. I don't know why you think that's better.
I'm just gonna use a different one each time or something. I just get sick. Every single podcast I listen to says we're gonna jump into.
Yeah, but like how what else do you go? Like, what do you say? Like, we can begin now. Like, that's not exciting.
I don't know that jump into it is more exciting, but anyways, let's just talk about this shit.
I don't think it's less exciting.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll start with what's gonna mix it up. It's usually movies first, but we're not gonna do movies first. We're gonna do games first because that's just how I wrote it. So we'll start with Nintendo. Nintendo doesn't see multi-platform development in their future, according to Satoru Iwata, who's their president. Mm-hmm. So, his quote is that, "What I believe is that Nintendo is a very unique company because it does its business by design and by introducing people to hardware and software. By integrating them, we can be unique, and because we have hardware and software developers in the same building, they stimulate each other." Here's what I have a little small problem with this, is that that's what they're doing at Sony and Microsoft, and they're not failing like you are. So I don't understand.
Sony and Microsoft are actually selling their hardware as well as their software, right?
Exactly.
Nintendo, that's worked for them up to this point, and Nintendo is an innovative company, and their games are very unique, and that's all true. But it doesn't matter if you don't move systems, right?
I mean, everyone knows that Zelda and Mario will sell systems, but I don't know if it's enough this time. But I mean, we talked about this before. Mm-hmm. What's interesting is the fact that this was even had to be addressed, because a lot of people are thinking, like, because of how bad Wii U is doing, that they'll just pull a Sega and just start making games for other platforms, right?
Yeah.
They would sell so many copies of Mario and Zelda and Metroid on the PS3 or PS4 and Xbox One or whatever. So it's like, in my mind, that makes sense. I guess for them, it's so hard for, especially a Japanese company, which they're very set in like in tradition and how they do that, like old school business, that they don't want to change. So I mean, they might be forced to eventually, but right now it doesn't look like it. But like on the same tip, Iwata also made a comment about their sales numbers, which have been really bad. Obviously, which talked about this last week. I was telling Jeremy, is that he doesn't think of it as so much as it's a price issue, because people think that maybe it needs a price cut and that would help. They don't think so. They think that the sales figures apparently show that the premium version of the Wii U sells more units than the basic, cheaper version, right? So what that says to him is that it's not the price that's the problem; it's that there's no games. So I mean, it's like both.
That does make sense too, though. Like there's literally nothing on the Wii U at this point.
Oh,
there's like 3 games.
Yeah, I know. And every second.
What's the point?
I know, and like every second day, there's a new third party who comes out and says they're not looking at developing for the Wii U. So I mean, it's just like it seems to compound, and it doesn't really clash with what he was saying. It's like, well, we don't want to sell our games multi-platform, because I think it says more that we don't want to sell our games multi-platform because we won't be able to sell our systems if we do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, a little bit of good news. Let's talk about good news for Nintendo for a second. Luigi is back for Smash Bros.
Great news.
Like we didn't expect it, and C, who cares? It was like,
why did you jump from A to C?
Because B is also who cares. It's like,
okay, yeah. Nobody likes Luigi.
I mean, okay. If you're playing Smash Bros, you play as Mario. Play as Luigi. He's not as strong, and his strengths don't like balance out against his lack of strength. Like at least in Brawl and Melee, like
in Brawl and Melee, he had like I don't know if it was the same in Melee, but in Brawl he has like weird like random moves that almost like if you just hit it perfectly right, it's like not a smash out each time, you know?
Yeah, no,
But
like
it's
his little,
like Game and Watch had that, you know, it's like a that certain randomness, like you could get lucky with that character.
yeah. So it's like with Luigi, you could do like that little poke. It was like a
Yeah,
side
a little
poke.
like shy little kick, and if you hit it right, this guy's gone. But,
No,
like
the
that's
shy,
not really
no,
worth
no,
it for
no,
me.
no. The shy kick was his taunt. That if someone was standing there and you did that kick, they would go flying.
Oh, okay.
That was like a little thing. But like he had like he would turn to the side and like poke you, and so it was kind of like a palm strike, but like a poke with his fingers straight out. And that sometimes it would send everyone like flying. His side A was like a blast across.
Yeah, side B, yeah.
Or side B, but like you could charge. No, is it side B or side? No.
Yeah.
Because you could charge it. Yeah. You could charge it, and that's 1 out of 10 would be one of those like big ones.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think they need to remove that randomness a little bit out of it. Make it more unique. I get it.
I mean,
it's
hard to make Luigi a unique character. He's not unique in the first place. He has like you can give him like a vacuum and stuff, but that's the whole point. He's just the green Mario, like
I guess
originally, right?
I get, but like okay, that's a good idea. See, you already have more better ideas than Nintendo does. Give him a vacuum.
Like they gave Mario the water backpack.
Yeah, and they didn't give him a pack.
That was stupid. But like,
I mean,
hopefully they'll address the clone issue in this game, right? Like, there's gonna be a lot of characters. They have the capability of making them a bit more unique than like the whole Fox, Falco, and Wolf, young Link and Link. You know?
Yeah. Well, I think everyone is kind of sick of that. It's like I get it. Like you want more characters.
But it basically doesn't even count as another character. It basically just skins at that point, you know?
Well, yeah, but like, and then but they're like, okay, but it's different because one's weighted differently. One's a little bit faster. One's a little stronger. One's a little.
And
slower.
like some of them, yeah, but like Link and Young Link, there's barely any difference there.
No, there's almost none. Just the strength. Who really wants to play as Young Link?
Nobody.
No one.
Your brother.
Yeah.
You like to play as.
Let's not talk about that. So. This is like I thought was weird. Like I was going through the news stories today, and I thought this came across this stuff from Amazon, and I thought it was really weird. So Amazon, obviously, huge internet company, sells stuff to you. They send it to you. You know, in the States, you can do same day shipping in certain places. New York and San Francisco, you can buy something, get it that afternoon. But like, so Amazon's releasing a digital store for PC and Mac, which sells games as well as software like Photoshop and like Far Cry 3, as well as a free-to-play section. So it's like a game store that allows you to play free games. I guess I don't know.
That's probably exactly what it is.
Yeah, no, but like I don't know what games those would be. Is what I'm getting at. But that also goes along with news that they're going to be releasing an Android-based console, kind of like the Ouya, this year. Possibly as soon as Black Friday in the States. So, like, what is that? Are these similar? Does this mean that they're going into that business? They want to get into the games business or the games distribution business? I don't know.
You would hope that they would be at least connected in some form.
Like, okay, so
if you're buying that new console, you should be able to hook it up through the Amazon free to play stuff and all that. No?
Yeah, exactly. So if you buy this new console, maybe that they're connected. Maybe you can play Far Cry 3 on your new console thing. But maybe not. I don't think so. It's probably more likely that it'll be like Android games, like Angry Birds on your television. But Ouya's already doing that and not doing a very good job of it. So I don't know what they'll bring that's different. Maybe they will try to compete with the PS4 and Xbox One, but I doubt it. I mean, I don't know. That's a tough one to me. Until there more news comes out, I want to see like maybe they're just trying to compete with Steam and like Origin, which for the EA one. But even that, like, those are so well, like, entrenched now that it's like, I don't know how you bring that. I get it. Amazon's good at new business models, but this one's a weird one to me, so.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll keep an eye. So speaking of the PS4, it's apparently costing Sony more money than they expected it. So this, like, actually kind of think is kind of, not funny, but it's, like, just an interesting thing that happens in business every once in a while is that, so to shield what they thought was what the PS4 development from what they thought was a rising strong yen, they agreed to pay all their suppliers in US dollars. But in that time, the yen is weakened and the dollar's risen, so now it's costing them more to pay for those same parts that would have been cheaper for them if they just paid yen.
Yeah.
So it's backfired against them. It's like it's not technically costing them more, but because of the exchange rates it is.
Yeah,
so
it is kind of costing them more.
Which is fine. I mean, the same article I showed you a breakdown of what the prices in the like different sectors were, like here in UK, Europe, Japan, and Australia. It was like us and Japan had like the cheapest, like they were on par, like whatever $3.99 is the same as whatever that is in yen. Okay. But in like the UK, whatever their price is equivalent to like $450, and like the Europe was like $400 equivalent. Like so they're paying more for no really good reason. I don't know. So they said that even though costs are higher, that it'll be still not as big of a hit that they took on the PS3, which they're losing money forever on that thing. Yeah. Saying that, quote, it's much smaller amount of investment. So to me, that says that the jump forward isn't quite as big, like the move to the next this next generation, as well as the fact that they're not spending money developing their own chip like they did with the Cell chip, which cost them apparently a lot of money to do. So that's, I don't know, just a little tidbit of info on the PS4 stuff. I don't know if people even care about that kind of stuff. It's interesting to me. I don't know. Do you care?
Marginally. Probably not. I would say no for that one.
It went from marginally to probably not to no within like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. That's for me. That one's for me.
There you go.
This one can be for you if you want. Okay, so the PS4 won't require PlayStation Plus for DVR sharing, which followed by the next story, which is Xbox One will require Xbox Live Gold for DVR. So it's complete opposites again. Although they keep doing flip-flopping stuff with the Xbox One, it's hard to keep track of everything.
Yeah, they might just retract that or change that.
Either way, that's good news. Like, I like the fact that I don't have to pay for every single thing, even though I will play.
I mean, I guess, yeah, we're both going to have PS Plus, though.
So, exactly, because you need to play online, which they haven't, they've been
that has not been addressed on a larger scale yet, but it's not even that huge an expense, and I don't really feel cheated by it either.
No, because it's such a good deal.
Eventually, yeah.
It's such a good deal. You would literally not have to buy a game. You're getting a free game at launch with the PS4 with PlayStation Plus, and every month you'll get a free game or more than one free game. So it's like you would, if only you ever played $60 a month, you would never have to worry about having to not having a game to play.
Yeah, which is it's worth it. It's worth it right away. Yeah,
yeah, it pays for itself essentially.
I'm sure it's the same with the Xbox Live, though.
They said they're going to have release games, but I don't think it's going to be quite to the same level because, I mean, Sony's been doing this for 2 years now. They've got practice.
Think that Xbox would take a hint from that.
Yeah, right? No, but it's easy to say, well, we'll just do that. It's not as easy to go and actually do it and do it as well.
Okay. You know. I'm sure it's not that hard either, but
I'm also not in the boardroom of Microsoft or Sony, so.
Yeah.
More Xbox One stuff. It apparently doesn't need the Kinect. Apparently they said it had to have the Kinect to work. Now they're saying it doesn't have to have the Kinect to work, which is again another flip-flop. I don't know exactly what that means. I think that's good news to a lot of people who are diehard, like hardcore gamers who didn't care about that in the first place.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I mean, the controller is always going to be there either way. It's not a huge deal to me whether or not it requires the extra.
It's packed in.
It was going to be included, right? Like it's not like.
But actually, you know what? Hold on, I got something to say about the Xbox One here for a second.
All right, hit me.
Is that this has been this is bothering. I was driving the other day. I was thinking, I was like, what the hell? I was reading some article and like these Xbox One controllers can still have a wire. If you don't have like the wireless charge kit thing that costs like $25 on top of the controller.
Yep.
That takes AA batteries. What takes AA batteries anymore, by the way?
That's ridiculous.
So, which rechargeable, whatever, but like they still need to replace eventually, is that you can still play it plugged in without the batteries or whatever inside, but like this is now the third generation of the Xbox. Why the hell is that even an option? Like, who cares? No one wants to play with a wired controller. And secondly, why isn't there a built-in battery in the Xbox One's controllers. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, unless it's just as obvious as it looks as we want to sell this extra little bundle on the side for $25. If that's all it is, I mean, I guess I can respect it. They want to make money, but like, it's kind of like get with the times here. Like, the PlayStation 3 has had a rechargeable battery since the PS3 came out, and that was, I mean, I don't even like that was my little rant, but like,
no, yeah,
come on,
there's no need to have a controller with a cord anymore, and they could have easily provided that.
I mean, okay, every PS3 came with a charging cable for your PlayStation for your controller. What I like to see them do is not having to have it turned on to charge, which I probably should have fixed, because even the Wii has USB ports that don't have to be turned on to charge. So let's see. One last little story for game news, and this one's close to my heart as a Worms fan, at least when I was younger, is that Team 17, which is the developer of the Worms franchise, is releasing another Worms game, and then this next Worms game is going to have like bunch of like user controls, like so they can make their own levels and weapons and kind of stuff like that. Which is the first one they've done that with. So, well, kind of. Anyway, I remember I used to be able to make Worms 2 maps by drawing black versus white in paint. So the black would be ground, and you could make it whatever shapes you wanted.
Oh, really?
And then the white would be the rest, and then you would upload that into Worms, and then it would like work as its own level and like load everything. Like, you know, I don't know if you know, you like load the worms randomly in places and like the weapons randomly. Anyway, I've had a lot of fun doing that. But so this is apparently going to make Worms last for a really long time, and they said that this is the last Worms games they're going to be doing for a while, and that they're working on a new, like, look forward to a new IP from them within the next couple of years. And he didn't deny that it could possibly be on next gen. I don't know what that necessarily means, because Team 17's been working on those games since forever. So I mean, what else? I mean, if they come out with something new, doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna be something good. But I mean, I'll pay attention. I won't necessarily buy it if I don't like it, but
yeah, absolutely.
Actually, I lied about the one more story. There's still one, the bigger one that I actually care about more than the Worms one, and you might actually care about. So, Naughty Dog speaking to Game Informer, talked about the original ending for The Last of Us. I actually have a whole bunch of quotes. I don't know if I want to go through all of them, but essentially, the game used to revolve around Tess following Joel and Ellie through America, looking for some sort of revenge because she got betrayed or something like that. Anyway, but they quickly found that like this makes no sense. Like why would she follow them for a whole year? Like there's bigger pressing concerns than like revenge. It doesn't make sense. Like it doesn't allow for like the whole mission to even like have any meaning at all. So they quickly changed that to her sacrificing herself and being Joel's initial reason to go on this whole journey in the first place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
By the way, spoilers. Last.
Yeah, yeah. You can safely assume people will play Last.
Especially if we're talking about a different ending. So that actually led into the fact that they had to change Ellie around as well, because Ellie was supposed to be originally much more like innocent, didn't refuse to kill people, like uninfected people, and was like gonna be didn't really participate with you. But then they played it and they said that people didn't really give a crap about her because she wasn't doing anything, and she wasn't engaged with anything that was going on. So by making her more of a like tortured soul, like as a how this violence and this world affects her, and being more involved in the combat, people actually cared about her more, and then made the game stronger. Is what they found.
Made her more real. Like there's no way she would have been able to be that innocent in that world. Grow up to that age and remain innocent.
So he said, quote, this is Neil Druckmann, who was the creative director at Naughty Dog, was that we decided it wasn't going to be the first time she killed someone. It was more about this coming of age story of the impact of the horrors of violence has on her over the course of the game. So apparently the first time she was going to kill someone was going to be killing Tess as he was torturing Joel. But that didn't work. So, all said and done, the original ending was supposed to be something like this, quote, "The original ending we pitched for the game was a much more hopeful ending, where Joel and Ellie make it to San Francisco, and that is a town run by people who are trying to restore society. Joel has killed all these doctors and lied to Ellie, and Ellie just fully buys into the lie. So they're left with the idea that they're going to live the rest of their lives in this town. The camera pulls back, and maybe everything's going to be all right for these two." He said, "I was working on the writing, and I didn't feel honest anymore. After everything they've done and everything they've been through, it was letting them off a little too easy, especially for Joel." So that's Druckmann again. And, like, that makes perfect sense to me. It's like, I really like the ending. I didn't at first, but it's grown on me. He said that led him to come up with this new ending that we have now, and it was actually really hard to sell it to the rest of the team that this is how I want to end the game. But apparently, if people came around to it,
I mean, yeah, no, it has been a very controversial ending. Just not even just among the team that makes sense, but also among fans. But at the end of the day, that's it is a more realistic take. It's not a happy ending. It's not like you get to the end of the game, you don't necessarily feel satisfied with the ending, but you just come in halfway and you leave, and there's in basically the same position, right?
It's true. It's true. Sorry, I got distracted there for a second. I think it's funny because that original ending that he had written had tested really bad, like all the focus tests. Everyone said they didn't like it, felt anticlimactic, which is like what everyone's been saying about this.
It did feel anticlimactic too.
Yeah,
but
I get it, but like,
but that's not this. This wasn't the kind of video game that you like. It wasn't even the kind of story like that. There's no like final boss or any of the stuff that we're used to. It was more about the storytelling.
Yeah, and it works for me. I mean, like I said, it really grew on me. Like I didn't like it at first. I think I might have said it on the podcast that I didn't enjoy the ending. But like as I thought about it, like how that world was and how things were, it just makes sense. And it's like it leaves things open too. Like maybe like this game sold so well, there's gonna be another one. There's gonna be there is gonna be. I mean, they might say they might not necessarily they might think of it as a one shot story, but like there will be another Last of Us game, even if it's not made by Naughty Dog. Sony made too much money. I know.
Like, I mean, as much as I love the game, just thinking about that, I can just see them ruining it. You know, with a sequel. It's like that story doesn't need to be touched.
I get what you're saying. I'll stop you there for a second. Sorry to interrupt you. Is that maybe it's not following up with Joel and Ellie? Maybe it's just another story in that world.
But then what makes it different? Like, I mean, I'm sure they can write, like, they did a good job with this game. I'm sure they have smart people writing these things now, and they can make the story work. I'm just, a little apprehensive about that.
Well, okay, so we know there's story DLC coming, or do you not even want to play that because you like the story as it is?
Well, I mean, no, I will get the DLC, I guess. I guarantee you, if they make another game, I'm going to buy it. I'm not, like, it scares me to think about them, like, butchering it.
Well, it's like, I guess it's one of those things, it's like, it just feels so good, like, as it is. It's like, do you really need more? I would like more, but, like, it's almost like you're not taking it seriously. You're not treating it for what it was if you making a second one. It's like, it's not true to the last one.
There's no way that the second one was going to have the same feel, like, even leading up to the game that this one has. There was intense hype. We really didn't know a lot about the game for the longest time, right? And then, like, even like after having bought the game, like, it was not at all what I expected. I knew, like, it was supposed to be this great game, but I was expecting it to be more like Uncharted and stuff like that. And I don't know, I was really surprised by this game. So the sequel is never going to have that same effect.
No, exactly. It's not going to be.
And if it's a different story, like, how do you top the story, and still keep all the characters real? Like, I don't know.
Okay, you're Cyloning, so I'm going to call you right back. But I agree with everything you said. But I'm going to call you right back, and then we'll pick up where we left off with movie stuff. So we'll be back. And we're back, and the Cylons are gone. So Battlestar Galactica wins again. That's a bad joke. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So we were talking about Last of Us. I think there's not much we could really, we're going to talk much more about that anyway. So we'll just move right on to movie news. And so last week, me and Jeremy talked about, what did we talk? We talked about Batman casting for like half an hour, maybe longer. So we have more casting rumors out of like that territory, mostly based around Lex Luthor. So Bryan Cranston and Mark Strong were rumored for this role as Lex Luthor, which is funny because they're both already bald, but like
Bryan Cranston isn't actually bald.
No, but like you can make anyone bald, so it's like it's kind of funny that they play bald characters.
Bryan Cranston is a phenomenal actor. Like he can play any role. So if they cast him as Luthor, I would be incredibly happy with that. He doesn't. I don't know. He doesn't come off as much as like the aristocrat, but I'm sure he can make it happen. Mark Strong was the perfect Sinestro, though. I don't want him to do that. I want him to play Sinestro.
Yeah, so that's interesting is that you say that because I agree with you that he was the very, very good Sinestro. But we don't know what's happening with that franchise, so we'll see. But he did say, quote, all I can say is this when asked about the Luthor casting was that watch this space, which I'm not sure exactly what that means.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything.
But it could mean that there could be news because that space could be the DCU / DC movies, right? Mm-hmm. So maybe that's more news about another Green Lantern film coming and him possibly reprising his role as Sinestro, right?
Yeah, well, like the thing is, if they're trying to make this whole DC movie universe happen, Green Lantern has to be a part of that, and therefore Sinestro has to be a part of that. You're not going to omit it. And he did a fantastic job with it, and he was probably the best part of that movie, that Green Lantern movie.
Yeah, and you wouldn't want
to the role.
See, there's no reason to like. You'd say, well, you don't want to keep him because you don't want to distance. You want to distance yourself from that first Green Lantern movie. But like,
I understand that
he was the best part of it, so there's no reason to do that. You know what I mean? And you could tell the Sinestro story about the Sinestro Corps without even like acknowledging what happened in the first Green Lantern movie. That could be its story on its own.
Yeah. That's the whole thing. That universe. I mean, I guess it's different for us because we are actual fans. But as far as I'm concerned, that universe is established. You don't need to go back and do another origin story with Hal Jordan or whatever. But Sinestro can still be a part. Like even though the movie sucked, you can still continue Green Lantern from that.
Yeah.
Right.
But
that works for us because we already know the Green Lantern mythos.
It doesn't work for it's hard. That's a tough sell to someone in a studio when that movie flopped and it was critically terrible as well. Like it wasn't a good movie, which is another reason you won't see. Even,
like most fans would agree that it wasn't a good movie. It's not like it worked for us and didn't work for a general audience. They just fucked it up.
It was just so
very
bad.
Disappointing.
It was like the Fantastic Four 2 of the DC movies.
Yeah.
That's what and that movie was terrible. I hate the Fantastic Four 2 or whatever, Rise of the Silver Surfer. That's what it's called, right? So bad. So bad. I don't even want to get started with that. Like, ugh. Do you have any ideas of who you would like to see play Luthor?
Well, I went on this other site that was like the top 10 actors or whatever that are rumored for the role, but I think a lot of them were garbage because like the number one guy was the guy who played him in Smallville, right? Yeah. But one of the guys on that list is Ralph Fiennes, or I don't know how to.
Ralph Fiennes?
Yeah, he would do a good job with it.
Where's he from?
Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. You'd recognize him if you saw him. He's in a lot of weird British movies. I think he's a British actor actually.
That's fine.
But he can pull it off. If you see him, you'll know exactly what I mean.
But can I just say something about Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy for a second?
Mm-hmm.
I know it was very well received with the critical, the movie critics people, but that movie is really boring. Really, really boring. I don't know if it was just the time of day or what when I watched that movie, but it felt really long. Speaking of Mark Strong's in that movie, does a good job. Not very long, but oh god, I
can see what you mean. It was kind of
it's a little slow. It's a little dry. It's a little slow. I guess. I honestly don't thinking back. I don't really recall what the movie was even about. And again, I don't know I don't know what that says about that movie, but whew. So anyway, moving on. So to a movie that so we'll talk about the box office for a second. Elysium, which I'll talk about because I watched yesterday. Debuted in first place. $30.5 million, which is, I guess, under what the expectations were, but only a little. District 9 did $37.4 million, so it's less than his last movie. Blomkamp, by the way, the director. Obviously. Yeah. Second place was that what's it called? We're the Millers. Then Planes, Percy Jackson's Sea of Monsters, which premiered at fourth, which, unless it came out last week, I don't remember. Not very good. Two Guns.
You said that you saw Elysium, though?
I saw Elysium last night. Two Guns in fifth, and then Smurfs, Wolverine, Conjuring, Despicable Me, still holding on in the top 10. What did I think?
Well, I don't know. I do. I'm going to see it eventually, but you're not really going to ruin it.
I'm not going to. Well, I'm not going to spoil it. I'll just say that it looks really, really good. Like, visually amazing. Archer joke.
Okay.
It looks like incredible. Like, just the visuals are insane. I'm really happy that it wasn't a 3D movie. It would have worked really well in 3D, and it's nice to just go to a movie and not have to wear those glasses every once in a while.
Yeah.
It wasn't IMAX though, and that was good. Although I thought IMAX 3D was just what made it expensive, but just IMAX still $16 to go see that, and not even 3D. So anyway, whatever. I would say if you could see it in IMAX, probably worth it, just because some of the shots of the Earth and of Elysium are really, really cool. You can definitely see. Okay, so Neil Blomkamp was originally attached to make the Halo movie.
Yep.
And there's a lot of little things in this that are very similar to like what you might see in a Halo movie. Like Elysium is a ring world, so even that alone is very like Halo. I mean, even though it's been done before, I mean, like, it's not the first place. Halo's not the first place ring worlds existed, but like that, like, he took ideas. Seems a lot like he took ideas from what he had for this movie he was gonna make about Halo, and then put it in this movie, down to the stuff like the guns were still like, or even kind of alien. Like, there was a gun that was like from Perfect Dark that could shoot through walls.
The Farsight.
Yeah, is that what it was called?
It was called the Farsight. Yeah.
Okay. So I hated that gun, but whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't work for a video game.
So what is it? All in all, I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was fun, but it was okay. You know how District 9 was the apartheid, but with aliens. This is kind of like what's going on, like, Occupy Wall Street, but with future.
Yeah, like the rich upper class.
But it's not done as well, and it's like what it portrays as this thing between like the rich and the poor really comes down to something much more simple and silly, and doesn't really work. And it's hard to describe without spoiling the movie. I mean, we already from the trailers that I know you've seen the trailers, right? Yeah, that like there's that ability to heal yourself on Elysium from almost any illness.
Yep.
So
the girl gets cancer and then just sits in the
thing. So it's wow, and it's gone, right? And it's like it literally takes like 3 seconds every time, and that thing becomes the essentially the central plot driving point. Like it's what everything's revolving around, this healing chamber that everyone apparently has on Elysium, but like, there's no reason that this healing chamber couldn't work for like regular people. Like it's like there, it's only for Elysium like residents, or it's like a country, I guess they call them like citizens. Mm-hmm. But like, it doesn't make like, it's the crazy box is made to seem like it's the easiest thing in the world. Everything is cured in 3 seconds. It doesn't look like it takes very much energy because everyone in their house has one. But for whatever reason, they don't say why. They just don't let the people, Elysium just don't let regular people use this box. So when they say it's like the rich versus the poor, it really comes down to people are sick on Earth, and there's everyone's not sick up on Elysium. And that's like, and then you start really thinking about it even more, and it gets even worse. It's like, so the whole movie in the first little bit, the first shot, really cool. It looks very much like, do you remember the mega cities from the last Dread movie with those like giant skyscrapers that were like
still have not seen.
Anyways,
Dread.
you should. I don't
talk about it a lot.
Hurry up. So it's a lot like that. It's like these sprawling metropolises of just things that are falling apart. It's like shacks on skyscrapers, essentially. To steal a word from some another critic I was reading the other day. Mm-hmm. And so what was I getting at? It's that crap. I completely lost my train of thought when I started talking about Dread, because I'm just thinking about Dread now. But it's like they forget that there's some other reason, but that they would like not share. It's like the rich would not share with the people. It's like they just don't like to. They just come off as like they're just evil for the sake of being evil, just because they need someone to be a villain.
And that does kind of make sense with that whole allegory, though. It's just an exaggerated version.
Yes, I guess, but like this is supposed to be set in a world that's supposed to be realistic, quote unquote, future. But like, no,
I don't know. I'd have to see the movie.
Okay, so I remember where I was. Okay, so the movie revolves around the world gets too polluted and overpopulated. So the rich move to this space station in the sky to live, where it's like the air is clean and they can heal themselves or whatever, right? But like, if you're moving away from the Earth to some space station because the world's overpopulated, you're going to somewhere where the space is even more limited and everyone ages slowly and doesn't die of illness. So how does that solve your problem? It doesn't.
I don't know. It's all about greed. It's all about like.
I get it, but like it doesn't make any sense. Like there's just like these are the kinds of things that were going through my head.
Yeah,
watching
maybe
the movie.
That's what you're supposed to take away from this movie. It doesn't make sense to be greedy. Share with your fellow man. Blah, blah, blah.
No. That's not. No.
Again, I still have to see the movies.
Also, the ending makes even less sense than the rest of the movie, which is a shame because I really liked watching it. It was fun to watch. There's some really silly stuff, but like the ending just doesn't make any sense. So, again, people go see it. It's fun. It's a fun science fiction movie. It's just not as smart as District 9 was. And someone made a good point. Is the same guy, I think it was from Slash Film, they were saying that he's like this Neil Blomkamp, who writes his own movies, he's worried that he'll turn into the next George Lucas, where he doesn't take writing help, and his writing just starts to become more and more as he gets more and more successful, becomes more and more disjointed. But we'll see. Maybe that won't happen next time. Okay, moving on from Elysium, because Daniel has nothing to say because he didn't watch it. Mm-hmm. A couple little news bits in the film stuff. There's a
You do the Metroid thing. I'm gonna go grab that beer that I was.
There's not much to say. They're really just gonna say.
Dude, I'm gonna walk like 20 feet to get it.
Okay, well, Metroid fan film launches on Kickstarter. There's like a mini, I think there's a little mini teaser trailer or something for what they want to do. Obviously, Nintendo, to sell it, you would have to have Nintendo to give their go-ahead, which there's no way in hell that I see Nintendo giving their go-ahead to some, especially a fan film. Although there's been those live-action Metroid commercials that were pretty cool. I'll give them that. So if there's anything if they're half as good as those Metroid commercials that we saw a couple years back with Metroid Fusion and Metroid Prime and like those live action ones, that'd be kind of cool. I hope it gets its funding. It's on Kickstarter, like I said. So go, give it money if you think it's something you want to see. So D23 happened last week. D23 is the Disney conference thing. So obviously Disney owning Marvel. Marvel's there. So there's a new scene from Cap. So the new Winter Soldier, and a new Thor scene. I don't want to get too much into describing scenes because we're gonna see the movie or whatever next later this year or next year. So it's it doesn't really make sense. But apparently they went over really well, and the stuff that they showed was really, really cool. So,
well, from what I took away, the Cap scene was really more just action. The action looked polished and exciting. Yeah, the Thor scene was about Jane Foster.
It's something about her being sick, but I'm not sure exactly. So we're not going to get too much into that because
neither one of them really gives anything away for the story, so it doesn't really matter. But it's just more hype for the movies, I guess.
Thor's soon, they need them. Yeah, November. No, maybe September.
I don't know.
I think it's September. I'm going to go with September. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I'm
I'm gonna
guessing.
go with November.
Okay, well, whatever.
There you go.
Marvel had apparently. Okay, so Feige, speaking to Wired,
Hello.
said that they have.
Do this again.
What?
Oh, you're back.
I didn't go anywhere.
Sounded like you did. I lost you for a second.
Oh, really? Well, maybe I wasn't Cyloning or anything, was I?
It sounds a little distorted, but I can still understand you.
Okay, well,
But like, it went silent for a bit. Now you're back.
that's weird because you're. All right, well, let's not ruin. Let's not let this derail the podcast like it did last time.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got here. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, okay. So Feige, talking to Wired, said that they have movies planned to 2021. We only know that they have movies coming for like next year, the year after, and then years after that. But they don't have titles on some of those ones after Ant-Man. We don't know what's coming out, right? But the quote that I liked most was that he said that I could arguably say that we're planning for the year 2021. Will that happen? I don't know. But what I can say is that we planned for 2015 in 2006, and that's happening. So
Awesome.
I like that. I was like, well,
That's exciting.
2021, like that, like this, the possibilities are endless.
Well, we can safely assume like they've talked a lot about Doctor Strange, like obviously more Avengers stuff.
So okay, that's like I feel like that's like a foregone conclusion. There'll be a Black Panther movie. There'll be a Doctor Strange movie. It's like if they're gonna make a Guardians of the Galaxy movie, how like would they not make like Iron Fist movie or like all those
Heroes for Hire?
Like all those are
again.
so
I'm gonna
cool
say I know we've said this on the podcast before. I feel like Heroes for Hire would be a fantastic TV show.
Well, we'll see how if Agents of Shield does well. I mean, there's no telling what they couldn't do on television that's tied into this universe, right? Let's see. What else do we got? That's pretty much all for Marvel.
Vin Diesel hints at Groot.
Oh yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Which I don't know.
Go ahead. No, you didn't finish the story. You didn't finish
Vin
reading.
Diesel hints at Groot role in Guardians of the Galaxy. Groot's a giant tree, and he only says, "I am Groot." I doubt Vin Diesel's gonna lend his voice to the role to only say that.
But what if that is the case? How funny would that be?
Like Vin Diesel has a pretty like recognizable voice and everything, but like I would want him as like Drax the Destroyer, but that guy's being played by Batista from WWE.
But what if he was voicing Rocket Raccoon?
That would be better for him. Even then, that's weird. But like that's the whole point of Rocket Raccoon is he's supposed to look all cute and fuzzy and then have a really rough and gruff attitude.
Yeah.
So that the voice would work in that sense. But Groot, I don't know.
It seems like a waste, is what you're saying.
It does. Especially for someone of his star caliber, you know.
Yeah, I agree. A waste.
Like unless he really, really wants to and needs to be in the Marvel movies, like, and even then, I'm sure they could find him a better role. I don't know why. But again, like all he did was hint. Like he put a picture of that on his Twitter, of Groot on his Twitter or something, right?
Yeah, and that said nothing else. But like,
that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Well, maybe
he could just be
in the Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. It's still I'm excited to see what he does do. If it's Groot, it'll be funny. Like I think
it will be funny.
But like, hey, whatever. Let him do what he wants to do.
Or maybe they decide to give Groot more of a voice, and he doesn't only say "I am Groot," and he actually talks to people.
That would also be better, I think, than just saying "I am Groot" in Vin Diesel's voice, which very.
And actually, it doesn't even matter. No matter who's doing the voice of Groot, they should probably expand that character a bit. Otherwise,
it's just a talking tree.
Yeah. It's an ent.
Well, yeah. Except for they don't call him that. He's an alien tree.
You should get John Rhys Davies to do the voice.
Is he the guy who did the ent from...
Yeah, he did Gimli and Treebeard.
But they talk so slow.
Yeah.
Imagine if you talk that slow.
Groot?
Yeah.
The whole movie?
Yeah. Or like it's the whole movie revolved around Groot. It was like his movie. It was called Guardians of the Galaxy, but he was the leading character in the movie.
Guardians of the Galaxy Origins Groot.
Yes, I would pay to watch that movie.
Let's make it happen. It's Kickstarter.
I want to watch it. It's like that adult Power Rangers movie that I want to see, which I did already see in Pacific Rim, but an actual Power Rangers movie that's like rated R.
Yeah, like made for people who
So Harrison Ford spoke to I can't remember who it was, a newspaper, about a possible Indiana Jones movie, another one. And he said, quote, "We've seen the character develop and grow over a period of time, and it's perfectly appropriate and okay for him to come back again with a great movie around him where he doesn't necessarily have to kick as much ass." So Harrison Ford is 71. It's pretty old.
Yeah.
I like Indiana Jones movies. I think they're fun, but I think it's hard to make an Indiana Jones movie where Indy's in a wheelchair. No offense, Harrison Ford. I know you're not in a wheelchair, but...
I don't know. I mean, like, obviously they want to keep the franchise going. There's always money there. The fourth one wasn't as good as the others, though. Like, admittedly, right? Even if you may have liked it, Julian, the fourth one was, like, Crystal Skull, right?
Yeah, that was the last one.
It wasn't the same caliber.
Aliens, okay?
Yeah, so they... But from what he says, like, he could take on more of, like, a mentor role. I don't know if they're going to bring Shia LaBeouf back.
Let's go ahead and say no, probably not. Remember, because he tried to pick up the hat. Remember.
What?
He was his son, right?
Yeah, it was his son.
God. I mean, I like Shia in, like, funny stuff, but, like, I don't know if he's really good for another... To be, like, the leading character in, like, an Indiana Jones movie.
Not the next Indiana Jones. No, I don't think so.
I mean, I don't think there's any other Indiana Jones except for Harrison Ford, to be honest with you. I think that's like saying, well, let's just recast Han Solo. Like, you know? What were you saying?
It's Lara Croft.
Oh, well, no.
They're going to make a Tomb Raider movie out of that game. Or around that game, I thought.
Did they say that? I don't remember
Pretty sure I saw that somewhere. I don't know.
Oh, maybe they are. If they do that, that's cool. If it's who makes it, it's Ubisoft? It's not Ubisoft, right? Or is it? No, it's Square. Square and...
Yes. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. So never mind, because I know Ubisoft has got like all their all their games and like ready to start movie franchises without them, or working with them to start movie franchises. So staying with Harrison Ford, he's taking over for Bruce Willis in the next Expendables movie, Expendables 3. This I think is kind of funny, and it speaks to like what a lot of people have been saying about Bruce Willis for a while, about like Kevin Smith came out. Remember he did Red State? Did he Red State with Bruce Willis? Is that
okay?
Yeah, or maybe no, that cop movie, whatever that cop movie was. I don't think it was called Red State.
Are you saying that cop movie that Bruce Willis was in?
The one that he did with Kevin Smith.
Oh well, then I don't know.
Yes, but
like literally almost every movie Bruce Willis has ever been
in. Okay, good. Good point. But yeah, so he was a money dispute that this like the whole thing didn't happen. So Bruce Willis wanted $4 million for 4 days of work, so $1 million a day. They offered him $3 million, and he didn't take it, and he walked away. Had him replaced by Harrison Ford, like who's the executive producer? It's Stallone. So yeah. Stallone had him replaced by Harrison Ford within like hours. And then
I haven't seen the second Expendables. In the first one, he was just a cameo, but right?
Oh yeah, he does a better job. He does more in the second one, and the second one's more exciting just because of the more characters and stuff. But so Stallone tweeted, "Greedy and lazy." That was all his tweet was. So
that is excessive.
And apparently Bruce Willis is tough to work with. Like he's not. I don't know. Remember that movie that he was in with like the robots? It was like robot people. Surrogates. Rob, that was not a good movie.
That was a horrible movie, yes. But Mel Gibson's in Expendables 3 as well, which is about time. Mel Gibson, whatever, he might be crazy in real life, but he's an awesome actor. And
well, that makes it even better for the movie, don't you think?
Yeah, because he's the villain, right?
Yeah. Oh, God, that's funny. Who was it? It was Jean-Claude Van Damme in the last one, hey? Mm-hmm. In Expendables 2, and he did so good job as the villain. I mean, I know you haven't seen it, but like that, he's probably one of the best parts of that movie. If Mel Gibson does half as good of a job, and
he'll probably do a better job. He's a much
better actor. Yeah. I'm just excited because I think that'll be really funny. So speaking with people, like I feel like this is weird. This is just a thing that like for me, Mel Gibson and Russell Crowe, I get them confused all the time. I don't know why.
It's because of the movies Master and Commander and The Patriot.
Maybe that's what it is. Are those very
It doesn't
similar?
make a lot of sense, but I can understand how your mind would make that connection.
So Master Commander, I really like that movie. Which one is who? Is it Mel Gibson?
That's Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe. Okay, Russell Crowe. Like him better. He's in Gladiator, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, much better. Anyway, he probably we were talking about this before. He wanted to play Wolverine, but his only request was that it had to be played bald.
It wasn't even just a request. It was a stipulate. Like he had to play him bald, or he wouldn't play Wolverine.
It makes no sense.
It makes zero sense.
Also, who wants to see a bald? Who wants to see a bald Russell Crowe play Wolverine?
I don't understand. I cannot understand why that would be such a big deal to him. Like, whatever, you want to take the character in a different direction. You want to give him his own,
no.
look.
Not different direct. That's the only direction. There hadn't been a Wolverine on screen before, so that's just like being different. Just because, like, I don't. Like, I think it's really funny, and I'm really glad they didn't do that.
I'm just trying to think, like, some actors, like, I could understand if it's like Bruce Willis or something like that, because he or Vin Diesel, they look badass when they're bald. I don't think I've ever seen Russell Crowe bald in a movie, and I'm trying to picture it in my head, and it doesn't even look badass. It doesn't look like scary Wolverine.
Do a quick Google search for that. I'm gonna pull that up super quick. Russell Crowe bald.
Okay, you do that, and I'll keep talking.
Okay.
What else? I don't want to talk about G.I. Joe, though.
You don't want to talk about... Okay, well, hold on. I found a picture of Russell Crowe bald.
Okay.
It's not terrible. There's one with, like, he has a big beard. Mm-hmm. It's, like, the fourth one in. I'm not sure what movie it's from. But, like...
That's still... It doesn't matter. That's not Wolverine.
No. But it's not terrible. I was not saying...
Yeah, I pulled it up, too. I can see this, like, kind of lumberjack look going on. He looks rugged.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably... I don't know. That must be a new
And
movie,
he looks jacked in that picture, too. I don't know if I'm on the same one, but he looks jacked up in that picture.
He's wearing, like a tattered shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Viewers, follow along.
Just look
search Russell Crowe bald, and you'll find it. So do a couple, just to get this through super quick. So John Chu, who is the director of G.I. Joe Retaliation, we're not talking about G.I. Joe. Relax, okay?
I just saw that you wrote G.I. Joe, and then I immediately lost interest.
It's rumored to be up for the role of director, not a role, I guess, as director of the next Star Trek movie. So this to me says a couple things. A, that those rumors that we were hearing before about J.J. Abrams backing out of Star Wars and going back to Star Trek, I'm guessing those are unfounded, because we wouldn't be hearing about other directors if that was the case. And that it also, secondly, that it probably means he won't do both. So John Chu, I haven't seen G.I. Joe Retaliation. I have it sitting on my computer, ready to play. I want to play it. Well, not like this. I don't have it like queued up, but like I could watch it. That's what I'm saying. But apparently much better than the first one. That was very hard to do.
Yeah, it's not amazing.
But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not really familiar with a lot of his work, but I mean, if it might work for the direction they've taken Star Trek anyway, which is more action oriented in the first place. Yeah. So we already talked about Elysium. So there's only these TV and comics stuff. So comics wise, okay, this is kind of okay. Spoilers for
No. I can see what you wrote here, and I don't want to talk about it.
You don't want
because it's a spoiler for me too. Like, it's a spoiler for you.
Yeah, I already know what it is. So I'm
not even going to read that article.
It's really cool.
Don't want to know.
It's really.
I want to find out in the actual comics. I don't.
Okay, well, like, yeah, but you haven't even been reading along. Wait, hold.
Let me know. You shut up. The thing says Jeff John reveals the true villains behind Forever Evil.
Yeah. So do you know what Forever Evil is?
Sorry?
So do you know what Forever Evil is?
That's part of the Trinity War, right?
It follows Trinity War.
Yeah.
So Forever Evil is a month the DC is going to do where it's all the books are taken over by the villains of the DCU. Yeah. But so we weren't sure what exactly that meant. We do now know what it means, and it's really, really cool. I want us to talk about it. I guess
you can tell people to look it up. I don't want to talk. I want to read it in the comics.
Okay, have you been following along with Trinity War?
Not yet, but I'm planning on catching up one of these days.
Well, Okay, well, why don't you just mute me for a second and I'll talk about it. I'll just mention it. Okay?
Go. Yeah.
Okay. So, this will be quick here. The actual villain...
I just realized it's not going to work because I'm not going to know when you're done.
Okay, well, give me like... That's really funny. Give me like 30 seconds. Okay? Okay, actual villains behind Forever Evil. It's the Justice... not the Justice Lords, but the Crime Syndicate from Earth 3. So we've seen those before in JLA. They're back. And really, really cool. I'm really excited. It's very much the same take as the earlier versions. I really liked the stories that they did with with the Justice Lords and stuff like that. It's very similar. So they're coming from Earth 3. Really cool. I'm not sure when Dan's going to be back, so I'll just keep talking about stuff.
Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm back. All right.
I'm back, but whatever.
Well, no, but like I just literally said I'm not sure when Dan's going to be back, and then you said you're back. Anyway, it's really cool. People should look it up if you don't want if you want to hear more. I could only have 30 seconds worth of time with that. So Dan Zatanna is the next DLC character in Justice. Are you happy about that?
I am. I mean, I know they wanted more girls in the game, but like I watched her little character trailer and she looks pretty cool. She's kind of I don't know if maybe obscure isn't the right word, but she's probably one of the lesser known members of the Justice League, right? Or less well known. I like that it's not a Batman character.
It's close though.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know. So there's spots for 2 more DLCs after her, and they're most likely both going to be bad guys. That's what I assume because of just the way that the character screen is built.
Okay, cool.
A lot of people have been asking for a Red Hood.
I don't know if is that a bad?
No, I guess he can't apply. Like he can be a bad guy. Initially.
Yeah, but then it's just Joker, or in one of the instances of Red Hood or whatever. But like that's the one that most people accept.
One of the skins for Joker is red, like the old school Red Hood costume from Killing Joke.
Okay, so with like the big tube on his head?
Yeah, that's one of Joker's skins.
Okay, so maybe they'll do that. Maybe I would be surprised if they.
No, I think a lot of people want like the Jason Todd Red Hood as a character.
Okay,
I think I don't want that, but
you don't want. You're sick of Batman.
I'm not sick of it, but like. There's already so many Batman characters, and there are, if you're gonna go bad guys, there's still plenty to pick from, right?
It's true. They should do what's his name? Black Hand. Black Hand would be a cool one.
Black Hand would be cool. I hadn't even thought of that actually.
Yeah. I just thought about that too, and I'm just thinking about how it would work, and that's cool.
The other one that a lot of people have been asking for. And it would fill both the requisites of being an evil character and being a girl is Poison Ivy, but that is also a Batman character, so fuck it.
Feel very strongly about that, I see.
Actually, Poison Ivy would probably be a good addition to the game. She'd probably have cool combo like moves or possibilities.
Yeah, no, she'd be original. But we're not going to talk about possible DLC characters again because we did this every single time that DLC character comes out. We talk about who the next ones will be. We're done with that. We're going to find out what they are. We're going to talk about the ones that they actually are, and that's it. We're just
I saw a thing online that was it said that Sub-Zero was going to be in the game as well. They already put Scorpion in.
I guess that makes sense.
I mean, yeah, but it's a DC game. I mean, I get it's another realm and it's the fighting game, and obviously there's connections, but like just put DC characters in it, please. I don't know why Scorpion's there.
Oh, whatever. It's okay because we already went over this, and I think we talked about this as Jeremy's because they redesigned Scorpion with the like DC look.
Yeah, they got Jim Lee to do it, but that's not why it happened. They did that because that's not why. They just did that. They wanted to put Scorpion in the game, so they got Jim Lee to do it. That's not the reason that Scorpion's in the game, though. The reason that he's in the game, I don't know. He's one of Ed Boon's favorite characters, and he's cool, and he's iconic, and he's recognizable. Everybody knows Mortal Kombat. They know Scorpion. It just bothers me.
You feel very strongly about this. We're just gonna. I'm
a very opinionated person. I either feel like I like something or I don't.
Amanda says, my girlfriend says that I say I feel too much before I say something.
You do that a lot.
And I think I sometimes notice that, but like, I was also reading somewhere that saying I feel before you say something is also a really strong way of communicating. So I stand by the way I speak. I feel like I stand by the way I speak. So TV, almost done here. And we're I think around time. We're at about an hour now, so that's not too bad. ABC, and this is actually I'm really excited about this. ABC is to air Toy Story, of horror in October. So
it says of terror.
Of terror. Whatever. It's the same idea.
You screwed up the title. Anyway,
so it's a, quote, spooky new tale featuring all of your favorite characters from the Toy Story films. It's a short, right? So it's going to be, I don't know how long, maybe an hour. Let's try to see here how long it says it will be. But, like, I think we can all agree that Toy Story is probably one of, like, our favorite Pixar movies, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So they already know that with Tom Hanks and Tim Allen are going to be back to voice with all the regular cast with, like, Don Rickles and Timothy Dalton and Carl Weathers, John Cusack.
Carl Weathers was in Toy Story?
Carl Weathers is Combat Carl and Combat Carl Jr. And, John Cusack as Jesse. Joan Cusack, excuse me. Not John Cusack.
That makes much more sense.
Is that her dad? John Cusack's her dad, right? Or is there a John Cusack?
I don't know, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, whatever. Joan Cusack. Jesse. I don't really like Jesse that much, but whatever.
Why not? Toy Story 2 is like, they are all heartbreaking. Toy Story 2, when Jesse's talking about being abandoned by her owner, if you don't tear up, you're a bad person.
So I wanted... Okay, I probably did. I don't remember. Do you think it'll take place after Toy Story 3 when they're in the new home? Probably, right?
They could go either way with that, though. Like, it could be when Andy's still a kid, and you said it's, at a hotel or some crap? It wasn't.
Well, it says it somewhere. Yeah. Toy Story gang takes an unexpected turn for the worse when the trip detours to a roadside motel. Ooh. One of the toys goes missing. The others find themselves caught up in a mysterious sequence of events that must be solved before they all suffer the same fate in this Toy Story of terror.
He's not just saying it like that. It's actually like the terror is all capitalized, and
I think that the title is really clever and funny. Yeah. It reminds me of the Undead Nightmare of Red Dead Redemption, which is like the best DLC ever.
I don't know. I think they could go either way. It doesn't have to be after Toy Story 3. It could be at any point, because it's not like the toys age, right?
It's true. It
doesn't have to follow a specific timeline.
And it's not like we really care that much about Andy.
Well, I mean, it does have a timeline, but the toys are the characters, and those characters are timeless, and like, it's not that strict.
Yeah, no. But okay, so another we'll move on to the next thing is The Exorcist. Everyone widely considered one of the scariest movies of all time. Maybe coming to television. Someone's writing a script. I didn't read too far in to see who it was. But this is weird to me because there's two shows on television now that are very much the same idea. It was taking a horror movie and putting it on television. So there's Hannibal, which deals with obviously Hannibal Lecter from
Silence of
the Lambs, and Bates Motel, which is about Psycho. So those two are already on television. Bates Motel does slightly better than Hannibal, but they're both doing really poorly in the ratings department. Hannibal got a second season only because their funding is offshore and is done by other people, and it's blah, 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 blah. It's very confusing. But the point is, they somehow managed to get a second season, but like they don't really. It's kind of like they're in the same kind of boat as kind of the Community was, where they're not getting very good reviews or good reviews. Not the word I was looking for. Ratings.
Because I thought that Hannibal received some pretty good reviews. It looked like an interesting show. Like, it looks like I might want to get into that.
It's critically well received, but is not watched on really by very many people. So, I mean, for their sake, I hope they'd stick around because I've heard it's good things. I mean, it's not something that appeals to me so much as like I don't really like horror movies, but like whatever. Do you care? Would you want to see an Exorcist on television?
I don't care enough that I'm gonna get excited about it.
When did that movie come out? Long time, right? That was in the
80s, probably.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, that's kind of like I don't think that translates very well to television. But it does. At
the same time, Paranormal Activity and all these Exorcist type movies are pretty popular
on television. Well, shows you mean?
No, as movies, not as shows, but like there's obviously an audience for that.
Paranormal. So yeah. I mean, Supernatural is on CW, does very well. It's much more lighthearted, I guess. Even lighthearted is not even the right word. It's just different take. It's just a different feel. It's that CW-ness that we've talked about before is very much not involved with Supernatural. But like, I don't know. I don't think that's just it doesn't really. Okay, it could work, but I mean, for instance, I started watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I started watching from the beginning. I'm on Netflix. I'm going through it now.
Yeah.
Great show, by the way. Telling Jeremy yesterday, like last week, like the writing is just so good. It's like you can see how Joss Whedon is so well regarded with like the geek community or whatever.
Yeah.
They just like it's smart and funny, and it's like, and it's timeless, really. Like you can watch it now and it's still very like it holds up. Anyway, so going through that, and that's a horror show, but it was more of a like procedural is not the right word, but it was like a freak of the week type of thing every week, at least for the first 2 seasons. Mostly
there were some like larger arcs, but they did a lot of that.
Yeah. The larger arcs played through each episode. Like I mean, I found out, which I didn't remember because I was still young when I watched it, that Spike didn't come around to the 2nd season in Buffy.
Oh yeah,
yeah. And Angel was around from the first episode, which I did not remember that either. I thought he was later. I thought it was backwards, but whatever. Angel, who, as we all know, got his own spin-off show on another network, and then because of rights issues, they couldn't connect the 2 universes for a long time, and they just wouldn't talk about Sunnydale, and like it would just be its own thing. And then after a while, they could like do crossovers, and they couldn't, and then there's comics. It was very confusing. But I used to watch Angel all the time when I was older. Okay, so Breaking Bad premiered this week, right? The final episodes, right?
On Sunday.
Yeah.
So final season.
It premiered at double the audience that the last season premiered to. So that's pretty good.
Huge.
5.9 million viewers, and that's 3.6 of that is the 19 to 49 demographic that everyone wants like a piece of. Like it's the best demographic on television. In any medium, pretty much.
Yeah.
Males 19 to 49, usually. And that's only second to Mad Men for that demographic. Really? Yeah. So AMC has the 2 number 1, I guess, drama is the right word? Dramas on television in that demographic, which is a pretty big deal. Oh, no, sorry. Did I say Mad Men?
Yeah.
Walking Dead.
Oh, okay. That makes a bit more sense.
Yeah. Mad Men's probably close, though.
Yeah, Mad Men's a popular show, too. It's just not as big as the other 2.
I want to watch Mad Men, but there's like 6 seasons. There's already 6 seasons, and I'm like, I don't want to go and watch all 6 seasons.
The first season, and then I think 3/4 of the second season, it just got to a point where it was very boring. But then from what I heard, Jeremy actually was telling me that once you get to season 4, it gets very captivating.
I'm sick of people telling me that it all pays off if you go through 3 shitty seasons and you get to a 4th season. That's it makes everything worth it. I don't want to have to go through 3 crappy seasons to make.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's crappy. You'd probably like Mad Men.
Well, okay, this is what I heard about The Wire, is that the first season wasn't very good, and the second season, still wasn't that good, but it made it all worth it because the 3rd season's so good.
The 3rd season's awesome. I like the first season of Wire. The Wire, I like all 5 seasons. The Wire is a fantastic show.
Wire, as I understand, is one of the best shows out there.
You should watch that.
And it's on my list.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not on Netflix in Canada, so I mean, it's I would like to watch. It's just so convenient. I watch it on my iPad in bed. It's just like. Yeah. Okay, so where does that leave us story-wise? CBS orders a straight-to-series show from executive producer Steven Spielberg called Extant? Probably Extant.
Extant? I don't know.
Anyway, EXTANT. Quote, a futuristic thriller about a female astronaut trying to reconnect with her family when she returns after a year in outer space. Her experiences lead to events that ultimately will change the course of human history. Interesting premise. I'll give it that. I mean, it's kind of weird
broad,
about
it leaves it. I don't know what they're gonna do with it. It doesn't really give you much.
It's weird, but so is Under the Dome, which is another Steven Spielberg produced show that's on CBS, which usually is all about their procedurals, their Law and Order and stuff that was on CBS. and they usually don't do serialized shows very well. But since Under the Dome is doing, pretty well, it got renewed for a second season.
Yeah,
this is going to premiere. This new show, Exton, is going to premiere next summer, and it's going to be another summer show. Probably along the same amount of episodes. Not sure if it'll premiere like the same day, like it'll be the same day, like back to back. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, because they like to keep people on the network, like so they don't want people changing, right? So we'll see if that happens, but either way, I haven't seen any Under the Dome. Have you?
No, my mom bought the book and she said the book was alright, but she doesn't like the show as much. But my mom's like that; she always likes the book and But from what she told me, like the book is somewhat short and very finite book. It's like it has a beginning and an end, and like the way they're doing the TV show, they're really dragging it out, and the characters are one dimensional and. It's not very interesting. That's what she said.
I've heard there's a lot of people hate watching Under the Dome right now.
Yeah.
You know what hate watching is, right?
Hate watching?
Yeah.
You just... Okay, explain the term. I think I understand, but I thought you just meant that people hate to watch it.
No. Hate watching is like people hate the show, but they watch it just to hate it. Because they hate it so much. Like, they'd like to make fun of it or whatever. Yeah. So there's a lot of people on like Twitter and stuff are like hate watching Under the Dome because it's like a lot of apparently acting, some of it is like really bad and whatever. It's doing okay though, despite that. So I mean, it got a second season, which is more than a lot of shows can say. Okay, well this one I left out of last week's I think news because Jeremy doesn't give a crap about Community and he doesn't want to talk about it ever. And he would just been like, if I just brought this up, he would have been like, oh, next story. But like, so Donald Glover. Who said he doesn't want to do a lot of work with Community this season because he's going to work on his rap career as the Childish Gambino.
Yeah.
News came out that he's working on a new show for FX called Atlanta. And he's going to be the writer, executive producer, and play a lead role in a half hour comedy.
And it's a comedy.
Yeah.
So kind of a slap in the face to Community fans because he was already in a half-hour comedy that we needed him for. But I don't know. I was reading this article and it's about like the music industry in Atlanta.
Yeah, so it's where he grew up is in Atlanta, right? And it's called Atlanta, tentatively called Atlanta, about the Atlanta music scene. Whatever. I mean, it could be funny. I mean, he's a funny guy. He used to write for 30 Rock. He's a smart, funny guy. It's just like, don't say you don't have time to work on Community because you're doing your rap career and then go.
I think it's more that he wanted to do his own, like he's not the lead in Community and he probably didn't have as much room in terms of like creativity. Like he did, I guess. They did a lot of ad-libbing in that show, but like this is his own creation. He gets to create his own thing where he's he's producing and starring in.
He'd be the executive producer, play a lead role, and write. So that's quite a hefty chunk of time.
Yeah. But, plus, and also he does want to do more rapping, so I can see why if it's not a priority to him, Community would be put on the back, like be
the side burner,
dropped.
Yeah. Do you have you? I'm not like familiar with his rap stuff. Is it good?
Oh, it's awesome. No, he's a good rapper. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not I don't know if you should look it up. He's got some pretty hilarious songs. Okay. And like some just like solid raps too. It's kind of hit or miss though. I feel like some of his stuff you might not like all of it, but
I don't know. I like that name, Childish Gambino.
After the podcast, I'll give you some to look up.
Okay.
Look up actually everybody on the podcast. My favorite song by Childish Gambino is called "Freaks and Geeks."
Okay.
Look it up.
And then I think we only got really one last thing to talk about is that me and Dan have been watching The Newsroom. I wasn't able to catch this past Monday's being episode 5 of the season 2. Wasn't able to catch that yet. Probably gonna watch it tonight actually, if I don't watch Buffy. By the way, Sarah Michelle Gellar in her prime was like,
I know. And Eliza Dushku's on that show too.
Yeah, but she doesn't come until later. I'm not there yet.
But she's also primo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh. Charisma Carpenter's also pretty hot. She was the one. Yeah.
But then she gets pregnant later, and it's all
really.
Weird.
I didn't know. Like, damn, they're rooted for me.
You've seen it all.
But like it was. You know what? When last time I watched Buffy, Dan.
Yeah, I guess.
I was probably like in grade school. Like.
Yeah.
anyway, whatever. Newsroom. We've been watching Newsroom. The much maligned Newsroom, if I can say that, because
why is it much maligned?
A lot of people don't like the show. A lot of people don't like the way it portrays events that have already happened in different light, which I understand, but like it's usually it's usually not that big of a deal.
It's not even about it being in different light. It's just like a small like tweak.
I mean, but like,
and it is convenient for the show, and it makes it seem like the people running this news network are just like all knowing.
Yeah, it's like, I have a family member who knows the person or whatever. It's like, really?
I don't know. I like it for the writing. I like it's smart comedy. I like quips and like
Jeff Daniels is so good. Jeff Daniels is so good. I mean, I understand he's obviously the best actor on that show, but like he just plays it so well, and everything he's in really. Like he's not in a lot of stuff. Jeff Daniels, he's not that busy of a guy, but like. He's just really good as an actor. I mean, and he just like, it's so funny to see that you go and watch like Dumb and Dumber, and he's great in that. And then you go and watch like Looper and his small role in that, and he's great in that. Which is his role in Looper is actually very similar to kind of what he does in Newsroom, actually.
Yeah,
but
haven't seen Looper.
You never seen Looper? Oh,
also did not really interest me. Yeah,
time travel. Yeah, that's not exciting at all.
No, but the movie looks dumb. I don't know.
Man, it's fun. Man.
Again, I either like something or I don't, and I just...
Well, yeah, but how could you say you don't like it? You haven't watched it.
It's not... Okay, I haven't seen it yet because it didn't seem like a movie I would want to go, like, spend money at the theater on it. I'll probably watch it if it comes on, like, video on demand or something like that.
It's probably already on video. It came out last summer.
I don't even watch TV anymore. The only stuff I watch on TV is, like, pre-recorded, and then, like, maybe Netflix once in a while.
Yeah, I was talking about that the other day about how, like, if I move to somewhere else and I'm not gonna get cable. Like I don't have any reason to, you know what I mean?
I will,
like,
but the only reason I would use it is for like the PVR. Like I record like Daily Show every night, you know?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, but like, I feel like I can get that stuff on demand somewhere. Most of the stuff I want to watch, I can get on demand somewhere, and it's like, I mean, as more time goes on, I think it's more things will be made available that way, and I don't want to pay for everything when I only want some things. I only want to watch. Okay, here's what if I only want to watch the Jets play on television. I only want to watch the Bombers play on television. The rest I can get pretty much on demand. HBO's tough because it's not on demand, and you have to wait like literally a year for it to come out on DVD and Blu-ray.
Yeah,
but like. A lot of everything else is on Netflix, or it's on Hulu or Hulu Plus, or on Amazon Watch Instantly, or like there's a lot of different places to get this stuff that I don't feel like I need to spend whatever $60-$70 a month on a package for cable when really I only want one thing out of cable, and that's sports. Like, and I know that NHL Center Ice, which doesn't show local games, like whatever, it makes no sense to me. It doesn't show local games. You can get that on your PS3. NFL Sunday Ticket, you can get that on your PS3. And which you can only assume is going to continue on to the Xbox One and PS4. Those things make watching regular televisions like I don't have time. Like I'd rather rewatch Buffy than watch some crappy show on CBS. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But anyway, that's another rant.
That's the future.
Anything else on Newsroom that you wanna say that you've been this second season you've been enjoying it more than the first?
I don't know if I've been enjoying it more than the first, but I'm enjoying it like for the same reasons, and like they met all my expectations.
I'm enjoying it more than the first season for sure, mostly because they're taking stories. They're touching on like the election and all that stuff that happened at that time, but they're taking stories that in this universe, this news corporation, Atlanta Cable News or whatever it was called, right? Is that what it's called? ACN?
Yep, ACN.
It doesn't exist in our world, but these people had their own experiences into their own things that don't necessarily have to revolve around actual events that happen in real life. That's exciting to me. It
is branching out a bit from the first season. Like there's the overarching storyline that like they've been talking about Genoa a lot,
which isn't a real thing.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah. So that part's made up, but like, yeah, they still address like the Mitt Romney running for president and stuff like that. I don't know. It's fun it's a fun show. It's fun to relive these things with that in that light.
I like a lot of the characters. I like seeing what they're up to. A lot of them, some of them I don't like, but I mean, that's part with any show.
A lot of people complain about because nobody really talks that way. Like
that's the way
ridiculous way to write a show, but it's an entertaining show.
Yeah, but that's the same thing. That's the same way he's written every show he's ever done. That's the same way he wrote West Wing. It's the same way.
I mean, that can apply to a lot of different TV shows.
Yeah, what's that stupid show that my sister used to watch all the time? I always bring this show up as a thing as when I'm talking about people that don't actually talk in a real way. Is that mother-daughter show or whatever it was on the CW?
Gossip Girls.
Yeah.
Gilmore Girls.
That was the one. That it was just always nonstop sarcasm and quips and always on the point. And it's no one is possibly that fast or that witty to be able to talk like that constantly. And everyone in the entire world in that show talk that way. Yeah. It's annoying and it's not realistic and it's it just anyway.
Newsroom is kind of the same, but I just like it more because it's not about girly bullshit.
Yeah, fair enough.
You can make the same argument about the way that Joss Whedon writes his shows, though. They are very quippy and the characters always have a perfect. It's not about perfect one-liners, but they have perfect comebacks or the perfect thing to say. But that's how anybody writes TV.
Yeah. I mean, Joss Whedon he's known for his that kind of dialogue, but I feel like it's done in a better, more realistic, smarter way than. Well, not smarter isn't the right word because who's the newsroom writer? It's Aaron Sorkin. He's a really good writer too. I mean, no one's saying that he's bad. He did.
It's just a different style, but it's the same. Yeah. But I think I can draw a lot of parallels between the two. In terms of dialogue, that's just something I enjoy. That's probably why I like Community too. It's a smart humor.
It doesn't look down on you. It understands that you're smart enough to get these jokes, and even the jokes that you don't get, you can just pass those on, and there's another one that you'll get later on. You know what I mean? I mean, Archer does this similar thing. There's a lot of references in Archer that I don't pick up on or I don't know exactly what they're talking about. But the rest of the show is hilarious, so I don't care. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, God, I can't wait for the next season. I can't wait for the next season of Archer. By the way, I've been rewatching again a lot of Archer, and there's a lot of people at work that started watching it, and they're they're so happy that I introduced them to the show. It's so good. What is this? What is this? A broken glass factory is still really funny to me. Oh, okay. I think we can wrap it up here.
Yeah, probably.
Make sure to vote us up on iTunes. Give us a good review. We appreciate that. Visit the site, towerbabblepodcast.com. Check me out on Twitter. It's mostly me on the Twitter feed. No one else really does anything. But at Tower Babblecast.
You actually do a lot of, I don't go on my own Twitter.
Oh, no, it's a lot of stuff, retweeting a lot of the stuff that I do off the site. Also, if you want to follow me on Twitter, what is my Twitter account? It's
Julian
_M89. So there you go. Julian _M89 if you follow me on Twitter.
I have a Twitter, but none of you need to know about it. I don't even use it, so
yeah, that's fine. He just reads other people.
I just use it to look up honestly once a month. So I don't even need the account. But when I first got it, I would use it to look up news, basically about Community and Mass Effect at the time. I was following
BioWare
EA and BioWare and that kind of shit, just to get little news stories from there. But I don't even care anymore.
Okay, well, and hey, you can always find older episodes that we've done on iTunes and at the site. So. Some of the earlier ones a little rough. I think we've improved for sure. I mean, we're at episode 11, and that's not bad, So, and this, I mean, episode 11, but we're probably 15 or 16 weeks in, so haven't been the most, diligent.
That's not that bad.
But the last couple of weeks we've been on. It was you, then Jeremy, then you. So it's a rotating cast. Yeah. It's only me that's been on every episode so far. But,
I'm pretty sure I've only missed one episode.
Yeah, you missed last week. Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, Jeremy's missed a lot. But like I said, guys, you want to listen to a good one. Last week, I thought was an excellent episode. We did the news wasn't so much about the news. It was more about just talking about Batman and Superman, how they interact and why that's interesting and how that can be translated to film. And if that's something that interests you, go back, listen to last week because me and Jeremy talked about that in depth for a while. So, other than that, we will see you guys next week. Again, hoping Jeremy will be here because we haven't had a 3-person one in so long. I'm really like, and I think those are our best ones. I mean, like that one we talked about, Man of Steel and the Last of Us was so good, so good, so good. We'll see you guys next week. I'm Julian.
I'm Dan.
And we'll see you guys later.
Peace.